The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
This is Brandon Davis with Bravo Delta, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. As always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Brandon Davis, guitarist and vocalist of Bravo Delta. Bravo Delta is set to release their first full-length album, Unbreakable, on February 1st. Bravo Delta's previous EPs are Sunset Wasteland from 2012 and Shutdown Sequence from 2013. Plus, they're going to be hitting the road here pretty soon as well. So we're going to be talking to Brandon about this first full-length album and all the ups and downs that this band had to just get this thing out. So, Brandon, how's it going, man?
Yeah, things are great. I appreciate you having me on.
Not a problem whatsoever. So how's it been working with the O'Donnell Media Group? It's
been great so far. You know, Shona's been really good to us. You know, this is our first full-length album, so we wanted to do it, do it right. And so, we've got a whole team of, radio promoters and, publicists and a bunch of different things that are, kind of helping us get out there to spread the word about the album and get it out there on a larger scale. So we're really excited about the album. We think, it's some of the best material that we've created as a band, and we just kind of want as many fresh ears as possible. So I appreciate you taking the time with us.
No problem, man, whatsoever. This album is 3 years in the making. How frustrating at times was this? And now seeing good reviews come in for the single and title track Unbreakable, that has to be very satisfying and added the excitement back into this for what you guys went through to get this album out.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, 3 years in the making. So, 3 years ago we started tracking, what is now the full-length album. But we didn't originally anticipate of it being a full-length album, right? We understand that, in today's society, people have very short frames of mind. The spans are very short. So, our plan was just to kind of start putting out singles on a regular basis, whether it was once a quarter or once every month or whatever it was. And so we got about I think about 4 or 5 songs tracked on drums, and our drummer has a major surgery. He blows his appendix.
Wow.
And so he has a surgery, and he is out for, quite some time. There's complications with the surgery, so he's out. And so that kind of pushed us back a little bit. Shortly thereafter, I found out that I was going to have my first child. And, that was a whole other thing. And, a year after that, I had another child. I had my second child. And so anyways, throughout the course of the last 3 years, things kind of slowed down, or, the tracking and writing process kind of slowed down, and it didn't move as fast as we wanted it to, just because of life. And it is what it is. But we're really excited about everything with the new album. Kind of fast forward to 2018, we decided we were going to, put our asses in gear, finish this thing, and kind of do it some justice. And that's exactly what we did.
Would they go from the drummer who had the appendix busted to Johnny Appleseed? No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. Uh-huh. But no, it's really cool because the way that it worked out with it being, kind of spread out over that time period, is things, kind of changed. We were able to kind of really dig in deep, really dive into each song, kind of figure out, what works and what doesn't work, and really take our time. And I think it shows. I think this album, is really clean, really polished, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So, for better or worse, the situation is what it was, but we're really happy with how it turned out.
Sometimes, though, when you have that amount of setbacks, it kind of gives you more time to work on it, to hash out everything that was wrong that you finally, could hear. And then, we got more time to work on it. So that could have been a blessing in disguise, maybe. Yeah,
absolutely. And, like I said, in 2018, when we, were kind of finalizing things and hustling through, and, we finally came to the decision, hey, let's make this a full-length album. Let's put it out all together. let's have songs segue into each other. Let's have an instrumental track. Let's have intros and outros. Let's make this thing a really, really creative, well thought out, piece of artwork. And so that was really cool for us to be able to do that. And I'm so happy with the way that it turned out.
Your single and title track, Unbreakable, is out now. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs on this album, which would be the first single and video? Also, what did you want that first song to say for Bravo Delta when folks first heard it?
That's a great question, man. It wasn't a hard decision. And it's funny because, we had kind of decided as a band what we wanted to represent us and represent this album, just with what we've been through over the last few years and what our city in Las Vegas has been through in the last couple of years. Just Unbreakable just was a perfect fit and a perfect name. And the title track, being what it is, it just felt really strong, kind of tied in with the artwork. It tied in with the vibe of what, we're doing. We felt people could really grab onto it and kind of relate with the thought of, being kicked to the ground and having to get up and fight, for everything that they had. So we were really excited about that. And then, of course, in the process of talking with our radio team and, some different people in our camp, what they felt like the strongest song in the album was for a single. It wasn't necessarily Unbreakable, but all of them said the same thing. It's different. You hear the guitar start, you hear just the song itself, and it's like, okay, I haven't heard that before. It distinguishes you, it sets you apart, and it's creative, and it's good. So it's one of those things that we're excited to push this because it sets us apart and it's different. And then on our second push, we've got another single that we'll probably be doing in April or May that we're really excited about too. But this one particular song, in Unbreakable, the title track, it just speaks volumes for where we've come, where our city has come, and we're really excited.
Any songs off the album standing out more to you than any on it right now, if possible? I know it must change from every time you listen to it, but do you have any that stick out for you possibly?
I think the one that we most enjoy playing as a band right now, I guess, that sticks out, that it's kind of one of those that it's a really strong song. We really like playing it. There's a song called Insignificant, and it's towards the end of the album. But, it's heavy. It's got this breakdown at the end. It just, it gets people, when we play it live, people just, you have to move, right? It's kind of like, just a really heavy riff, and it's really cool. So I think that was probably one that, might not ever see a radio campaign, or it might not get the exposure that some of the other ones will as we're promoting this new album. But it's an amazing song. We all love playing it. So I'd have to go with that one.
Who produced this album for you guys?
It's 100% self-produced album. We had a gentleman here in Las Vegas named Andrew Kapp that did the mixing and the mastering of the album, but we tracked it in our studio here in Las Vegas. We wrote it, we produced it. It was all done in-house, the four of us in the band. So, we haven't ever worked with a producer, so to speak, or, kind of went that route. Not saying that we won't down the road, but, we just haven't. We feel, pretty good and pretty comfortable with what we do as a team in-house. So yeah. Do
you guys like self-producing, doing it yourself? Do you like having that freedom and control to do whatever you want when you want?
Yeah, 100%. And, in all fairness, I'm good friends with the guys in Nothing More, and, a lot of other bands, Atreyu and some different bands out there that I know that have worked. It's kind of the thing to go and have co-writers and producers and, work with guys in the studio. And I haven't, personally experienced that, so I can't tell you if it's better or it's worse, but I just know what works for us and what I feel really comfortable with. And I love that, we can do our own thing, and we have the capability of having a studio where we can kind of write and track and, make mistakes and, do some different things like that, and not have to, worry about, hourly, paying somebody, or, how many points on the back end we're going to have to pay to somebody, and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been a great experience so far.
Great artwork on the album. Who did the artwork for you guys?
So I did. Okay. I'm actually a graphic designer. I own a design agency, and we do some digital marketing as well. But yeah, I created that and kind of came up with it. Some of the concept photography was done by another gentleman, and we were able to license some of his stuff. But yeah, no, we're really excited about it. Kind of tied in perfectly with, the vibe of the album and what we were going for, just kind of a person or an entity, just looking out into, the unknown, but strong and ready to take it on, is just, it kind of speaks that kind of thing, and we love it. So I'm glad that you took notice of that. But as far as all the graphic design for the actual album artwork, that was me.
I just don't think that artists get enough credit for the effort that they put into these covers, because that's some of these are really damn awesome, and some of these could be actually artwork that you can hang on your wall. I mean, some of these album covers are pretty damn awesome, man.
Yeah, I agree. And it's sad with, today's day and age with, how everything is digital. I think some of that gets lost, and, I don't think there's as much time put in as there used to be, with vinyl records, or when CDs were really popular. There was, I remember getting Lateralis by Tool and just opening it and being like, holy shit, this is the coolest artwork I've ever seen, and I just don't think, I don't think there's enough of that. So, yeah, I'll definitely, tend to agree with you.
What do you hope everyone takes away from the album, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any Bravo Delta's music in general?
Oh, that's a great question. For the most part, every song kind of has its own story, or you can kind of take your own interpretation of it. But I guess with this one, with this particular album, it's about, no matter how many times, somebody's been kicked down, knocked down, pulled down, then down, whatever it is, keep fighting, rise, and find a way to fight, to get back on your feet. I think, being unbreakable, I think that's what I would want somebody to take away is, don't allow yourself to be broken by, somebody else's words or somebody else's actions, to be strong in a fight. So I think that's what I would want somebody to take away from it.
How much growth musically have you seen this band and, of course, yourself go through up to the release of this first full-length album? Or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you involved in this?
No, I've seen a ton of growth, just the chemistry of the band in general, just, how we've come together as far as writing. But there's been a ton of personal growth there. I mean, I've got a couple of children. I've grown, considerably over the last 3 years. And, obviously, kids will do that to you. But I think we've all individually, kind of grown a lot. But, as a band, even more so, figuring ourselves out and how to feed off of each other and how to play off of each other and, the writing process and how everything has transpired. So I definitely think there's been a ton of growth there, both on the band side and individually.
Do you do anything differently, Brandon, when you come into the recording studio during that writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open, to not let the music get stale or not get bored with it? Do you do anything differently that helps you out?
That is a good question. Not necessarily. I mean, not anything I can think of that's, weird or wacky or, different than, any other person. Me personally, I know this is kind of funny to say, but, I don't really I enjoy tracking and recording. I don't enjoy the mixing part of it, or just, being in a studio for hours and hours on it. I know that there's some musicians or, band guys that are just like, I just eat it up. I love it. I just love to be in that environment. And I just, me, I don't. It's very, hearing things over and over and over and over again. It's, for me, it's just like, I kind of want to get in, track my parts, and then I'm out. Right. So maybe that's something that's a little bit different than most musicians.
What can fans expect at a show from Bravo Delta who have not got to hear you guys live as of yet?
I think, energy, passion, and a connection. I think that's something I've always, been very proud of with this band. We're not, a party type of band or, sex, drugs, and rock and roll type of band. It's more of a, we're socially conscious, we're intellectual. We try to, kind of connect with the people in the audience. It's about most of the people that do come to a show, they know the songs and they sing them and, they feel engaged with them, and it's about us and them. And I think that's, something very special to be able to connect with somebody on a human level like that. I think is really special. So that's something that I've always really been very proud of that we're able to do.
We're living in the digital era of recording albums to get music out quicker, and now we have social media to reach out to more folks. Do you like this that we're in, to get albums out quicker, and plus the social media side to reach out to people who may not have heard of Bravo Delta yet? Do you like this?
That's a good question. It's kind of a catch-22, or, I guess the devil in the details. It's great as far as being able to, social media is great about being able to get out and connect with people and get out information to groups of people, instantaneously and pretty quick. The digital side of it, I love being able to, track something and push it out, fairly quickly. But with that comes a lot of oversaturation at the same time. So I think a lot of people find themselves getting bombarded or overstimulated, or, it's too easy to do it, whereas, maybe it was a little bit more exclusive, 30 years ago. So again, a little bit of the bad comes with the good. But, for me personally, I think it's really awesome being able to, again, write something, record it on your own, and then be able to go put it out there and distribute it on a national or even international scale, and then to be able to connect with fans, through social media. But again, I do think that there's a bit of oversaturation there in the market.
What does Bravo Delta bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now? I mean, I know nobody's reinventing the wheel, but what does this band bring differently?
Yeah, I think, I'll kind of go back to that passion, that songwriting. I mean, there's a lot of, hard rock bands out there that, it's very, not necessarily cookie cutter, but, there's a lot of those style of bands that, kind of fit into a mold or kind of sound the same. And, we kind of take pride in, not really necessarily trying to fit into any kind of mold, but at the same time, having a message of some sort, talking about things that matter, that, trying to inspire people, try to be, really thoughtful and creative, and then to really connect with people on a human level. I think that all of that stuff is kind of what sets us apart.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, Brandon, that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
Okay, so my dad was in a band, and he always had music, and so I was around it growing up and kind of lived in that world. And then I grew up with a kid named Ian Zander. His dad is named Robin Zander, the singer for Cheap Trick. And so we would go, watch Cheap Trick play these, festivals all over the Midwest. And I remember, I want to say it was like 97 or 98, I'm sitting on the side of a stage at a festival in Indiana, and Cheap Trick is playing for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10,000 people at this festival. And, I'm just like, I want that. I want to do that, right?
Oh, for sure.
It was very cool. So I remember that being the moment.
That's crazy, man. That's a cool thing, being friends with a guy's dad who's lead singer of one of the biggest rock bands, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it was really cool. And, being able to kind of grow up and see some of that stuff at a young age was definitely,
oh, sure.
When you're that impressionable, it really leaves a mark on you.
Yeah, Cheap Trick's no joke. That's for sure. They've made their mark on the rock world. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a country that stands out or even shocks you that Bravo Delta gets support from, or your music even gets played in that country?
I think the biggest one most recently is France. We've got a couple of one internet radio station and then a blog that has reached out to us in the last couple of weeks that are both in France. So that's really cool. So yeah, I'd have to say France.
Now I know you guys have shared the stage and toured with Nothing More, The Used, BOD, Corey Taylor of Slipknot and plus Stone Sour, Alita's Way, Saliva and plus Alien Ant Farm. But have you guys had that moment that made you realize that, yeah, this is worth every minute that we have put into this so far?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, and maybe this sounds a little cliche, but literally every show that we play, I have that realization when I look out and I hear people singing the songs and, really getting into it. That's 100%, why you do it. But I think one of the cooler shows that we ever did was here in Las Vegas at a venue called the Brooklyn Bowl that, I think it's a, 3,000 capacity venue. And we were playing with the Used, and it was sold out. And just a sea of people, and it was just amazing. People crowd surfing. As far back as you can see, it was just really cool. So I'd have to say that that's one of the coolest shows that we've done.
What is your expectations of Bravo Delta? What do you want to see this band achieve before it's all said and done, if anything, possibly?
To be honest, I have zero expectations. And I don't mean that in a necessarily a bad way, but more of, I'm open to whatever the universe happens to provide for us, right? I don't expect anything at the end of the day, but what I would like to see is I would like to see, as many people as possible, connect with, the artwork that we're creating, connect with the lyrics that we're writing, and really just enjoy the music that we're creating. And that's pretty much it, my friend.
Folks, Bravo Delta's first full-length album, Unbreakable, is out February 1st. It's self-produced, and I would suggest everybody get out and check these guys out. Give them a fair chance, folks. They went through hell to put this album out, 3 years of waiting to put this out. So just give them a chance. Their two previous EPs are Sunset Wasteland from 2012 and Shutdown Sequence from 2013. Get out and pick those up and give them a chance, like I said. Brandon, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy this album when it comes out? Tour dates, anything along those lines, how can they do that, my man?
Yeah, absolutely. February 1st, when the album comes out, it's going to be everywhere that music is sold. We'll actually have physical copies at our website, which is bravodeltamusic.com. And right now they can get the single, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, everywhere that is streamed or sold. And as far as keeping in touch, obviously we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media platforms. And just get the album and hit us up and let us know what you think.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Absolutely. You got it. This is Brandon Davis with Bravo Delta, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Also, get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link plus our YouTube link. And get out and check out Bravo Delta. Give them a chance, guys. I'm pretty sure you'll dig these guys. Give them a fair shot for me. Thank you so much, Brandon, and best of luck to you guys on this.
Man, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time and having me on, and I look forward to chat with you again soon.